Hello and welcome to another video on Pidini doing stuff and filming it. Now I wanted to be out on the bike today. I've got a 3-day weekend which I don't get many of, but it is miserable as fuck outside. I mean, we had a hell of a storm last night. Thankfully the rain has stopped, but it's still freezing cold and there's still a lot of wind, and I just don't think I'd enjoy the ride that much. The wind is dying down, so maybe I'll go out a bit later, but for right now we're going to have to do something indoors. So I have got box of stuff. Let's see what's inside it. We're going to be doing this on my little workbench. If you want to know how good of a bench this is, I did do a product review, unboxing video. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description. If not, there's a whole playlist of my unboxing videos. So let's have a look at this. I'll move my cup of tea out of the way so I don't spill it. Now we're doing this indoors in the conservatory, so the tappity is the dogs that you can hear. They're curious as to what I'm doing. What am I doing, Andrew? What am I doing? Who's that go like? Right. And if you hear any sort of wind noise and the roof creaking and such like I said, there's a storm outside. So we've got here fairly standard British Army ammunition box. Quite why it's got all the yellow paint on it, I don't know. I do have another one of these that I keep some of my shooting equipment in, and that's not got all this crap on it at all. But yeah, anyway, so fairly standard army box. I'll get the other one to show you. There you go, look. You have to imagine hundreds of these lined up, full of ammunition, being used by the British Army. They're great. I mean, this is all.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
That's because I wasn't talking to you. Yeah, I mean, you see, this one's all rusty and they've been battered. These boxes have probably been around the world. You'd love to know the story of this, where it's been, what sort of war zones it's been in. But yeah, if you ever need a sturdy box for tools or to keep your lunch in, or for what we're doing today, making a top box, I highly recommend them. You can get them for like between £10 and £20, depending on who you're buying them from online. Yeah, I've got 2 of them now. Plus a really large one that's down in the garden at the moment that I was using as a top box on my car, a roof box. But yeah, quite why this one's covered in yellow paint, I don't really know. I can't read what it says on here. Something 8'd brass, bellow 12mm. Who knows? It's been green and then it's had yellow painted over it, and then there's evidence that someone's put black paint on top of the yellow paint, and there's the remains of some sort of sticker on it as well. Who knows? None of this is really important for what we're doing today. Inside, it's actually in remarkably good condition. This mustn't have been a very old one. So the paint inside is perfect. Even has that new paint smell to it. I think it's rusty on the outside because it's been, bashed around and whilst it's been in use and then stored outside, but that's what these are for. Right, so what we're going to need for this. So we've got, first off, we've got these clamps. These are M8 45mm U-bolts. These are what we're going to use to attach it to the back of the bike. I will show you when we get to that as best I can, but like I say, it's windy as fuck outside, so audio won't be terrible. I'm going to try and do as much of this indoors as I can. I've ordered a rear reflector, and we're going to put that sort of on the back like that. The reason being is the bike does have a rear reflector because it has to have one. It's like that big, and it's just stuck on the bottom of the number plate. I'd rather have something a bit bigger because safety. So we're going to have that on the side there like that. We've got, ooh, ding, bacon's ready. Okay. And then we've got these. I got these from Wilko's because always Eva floor protectors. They're basically just little rubber pads. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick these on the underside of these and inside our clamps, just to try and reduce sort of noise, vibration and harshness as we're going along. There's a lot of vibration on the bike. I don't really want to add to it. And of course, I don't want to be riding around with all this yellow crap on, so we've got ourselves a can of Wilko heat resistant spray paint. Now, it's heat resistant, not because this needs to be heat resistant, but because it's the only black spray paint that was in the shop for some reason. Right, I'm going to go finish making that bacon sandwich, and then we're going to get on with, with making it. I think we'll start with the painting side of it. Right, okay, that was a lovely bacon sandwich. I am ready for the day now. Spray painting. It's the logical place to start, really, because beyond that I'm then like drilling holes in it, and once I've attached stuff, you know, like say if I put this on there and then paint it, I'm going to paint over my reflector, and then it's not reflective, it's just plastic. So normally I would do this sort of stuff outside, because then any sort of spray that doesn't land on the thing that you're painting is fine. It'll just like land in the grass or something like that. It doesn't really matter. But it's still cold and windy and miserable out there, and wind doesn't really work very well with spray paint. So yeah, and it's threatening to rain again, so we can't be doing any painting outside. So I'm gonna have to find a way to do this in the conservatory without painting half my house like it's a fucking ammo can.
A few moments later.
We're going to use this banana box, I think. What we'll do is we'll plug up the holes, and then we should be able to just spray in here. As long as we're careful not to go too mad with it, it should all stay in here, because, I mean, this... Yeah, if I'm spraying like that, it's not like I'm going to be spraying it from a distance. I'm going to spray it up close. I'm not too fussed about the finish on it. I want this to look sort of rough and ready. There's a reason I chose an ammo box for my top box rather than just buy a top box. But yeah, I do want to get rid of this yellow because it's gross. So yeah, okay, let's find something to plug these holes with. Giggity. We'll use some of the crap that comes through my door. So we've got savings for your winter cravings from Sainsbury's. We've got a Papa John's pizza menu. We've got, what's this? Oh, okay, all right. That's a Christmas card from one of my partner's dear friends. Okay, we won't use that. That's bad plan, Stuart. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. That's just an empty envelope. Yeah, okay. And we've got Brampton Manor Boutique Care Homes. I'm 30 fucking 2, you cunts. What the hell? That's got a nice calendar on the back of it, at least. But no, I don't need adverts for a fucking care home. And yeah, I'm basically just going to tape it over the holes like that. I don't recall what this envelope was for. I think it had a letter from the pet insurance company. Right, that'll do. Those holes can stay because I need something to carry it with. But yeah, we've plugged up the holes. Oh, that's Bella barking at the postman. Whatever. Just scare him off with her massive ears. Yeah, we've filled the holes, so we're ready to paint. I've realised as I was doing this, I should probably change because I'm wearing the jeans my partner bought me for Christmas, which was about 2 weeks ago, and then the t-shirt and the jumper that they bought me for my birthday last year. I don't want to get spray paint on this stuff, so I need to go and find something more appropriate for this, because otherwise I'll get shouted at. I've always been shouted at. Right, that's better. So, we've got work smock on, which I normally use for working on the cars. I've got my apron as well, Adam Savage inspired apron. Right, we may as well just get on with it. Yeah, I'm only going to spray the outside of this. I don't need to spray the inside. As you can see, it's in really good nick inside. Also, like I say, I'm not even that bothered about the finish on it. I just want it to be black. I just want to get rid of all this yellow. Let's adjust this table first. Better. Directions for you to achieve the best results. Prepare the surface before painting. Make sure surfaces to be painted are clean, dry and free from rust, loose debris, grease and dust. Well, it's free from all of those things except the rust. Not a lot I can do about that. I mean, I suppose I could get the pinwheel out and shave them down a bit here on the lid. Okay, alright, now tell me what, we'll do a proper job because the weather's getting worse again now. I don't look like I'm going out today, so... Alright, let's just try and scrape some of this rust off first, shall we? Alright, I can't find my pinwheel for the drill, so we're going to have to do this a slightly slower way. We're going to use this steel brush that I've got. To be fair, it's actually probably a better tool for the job. obviously it's going to be hard for you to tell on the camera, but if I just run my fingers over this, there's a few rough spots that might give the paint some trouble, but generally it's okay. We'll just do like the edges. Let's start there, shall we? That's working really well, actually. The rust is coming straight off. Yeah, I did a product review of like 3 different things in one go, and this was one of them, these brushes. Yeah, alright, fair enough, they're good at these. Oh look, it's taking the yellow off as well. That's interesting. This paint that they've put on it must have just been some really cheap and nasty spray paint, because it's coming more or less straight off with a bit of brushing, but the green underneath stays on. We may even be able to restore it to its original green colour, but I swear to God, I buy tools, use them once, and then they just disappear into a fucking void in this house. Alright, well, trying to find my pinwheel. I found my sandpaper. We'll use that instead, shall we? I used to have like a sanding block as well. Fuck knows where that's gone as well. Right, let's try this sandpaper then. You know, that's interesting actually. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but as this yellow stuff is coming away, there's all this lettering being revealed. You know, I might just keep going with this and we'll see what we can discover. This was meant to be a quick job to get this thing painted, but it's turned into a fucking archaeological dig. I might not paint this after all. As I'm sanding it, this yellow and all the other stuff that's been put over the top of this is coming away, and it's revealing the original colour and markings. We're not taking the original green paint off. This could end up looking really fucking cool, just in its original colour. That's quite exciting. Alright, let's keep going, because we've still got a few bits to get rid of. Yeah, look at that. What does that say? So, 870 RDS, 5.56mm, 70 grain. That's standard NATO cartridges. That's really cool. These look to be serial numbers. It's still going to be scratched and beat up, but if I can get this to a reasonable standard, I don't think I'm going to need to paint this after all. Look at my fucking hands. If I was doing this with power tools, I'd definitely need some sort of breathing apparatus on. But right, let's just get a damp cloth and see if that helps. See, I always assumed these sorts of boxes were like for your 50 caliber guns. You know, they're like they put on the top of their fighting vehicles. You have the big box mounted at the side of the gun with the belts of ammunition that come out of them. But yeah, 5.56, that's small arms. That's rifles and pistols and such like. At least as far as I remember it is, from all the Forgotten Weapons videos I've watched. Right, let's see if we can get a little bit more of this yellow off. I'm conscious I don't want to try and scratch this lot off or scratch up the green too much, but I do want to get rid of some more of this yellow. Alright, you know what, we'll come back to that. It's not perfect, but we'll see what it looks like when it dries. Because I could keep going, but I think I'm going to start taking this lettering off, which I kind of want to keep now. I'd rather keep a bit of the yellow, so I can keep some of the lettering. Let's try the other side. Alright, this bit's going to be... Oh. Is it the postman again, dogs? Is it? Have they come to murder us brutally? Are you going to savage them? Yes. Alright, this bit's not going to have any markings on it. It's going to be fiddly, but yeah, it's just... Maybe that needs the key. Maybe I'm scratching this too hard. Yeah. Okay, maybe I don't need sandpaper for this. This yellow paint just seems to wash off. I've just thought some miserable private who's probably done something wrong in the army and been given one of those really menial tasks to do is one of his officers might see this video and think, you know what, I'll get the privates to clean the ammo boxes. That's fiddly. There you go, private, there's 500 ammo boxes there, all covered in pointless yellow paint. Clean them. I want them green by dawn. And then they'll be like, sir, yes, sir. They'll spend all night cleaning these boxes. In the morning they'll come back and they'll be like, what is in this ammo box, private? They'll go, sir, jelly donut, sir. Ah, jelly donut.
A jelly donut?
Can we fight the enemy with jelly donuts, Private Pile? Sir, no, sir. What the hell is a jelly donut doing in my ammunition, Private Pile? Oh dear, I fucking amuse myself too much sometimes. That's a point. It's a shame that YouTube is so up its own arse about copyright. I mean, I could just do with, as I'm working on this, I mean, I'm making the video, which I love doing, but I could just do with a film or some music on whilst I'm doing this. I mean, but, you know, it'll just immediately get claimed by some faceless corporation. It's like, oh, fuck the lot of you, then I'll do it in silence. Alright, okay, well, we won't bother with sandpaper then. Let's just see if we can clean this off. We might even get to see what this sticker says, so... S. Got some more markings here. This black paint's putting up a bit more of a fight. That might need the sandpaper, but the yellow stuff is just coming off quite easily. .4S, whatever that means. Yeah. Oh look, oh no, I'm ruining the pad. Never mind. Yeah, so what do these say? Near 1.488 kilos. This box alone weighs more than that, whatever that means. UN, it's just a load of serial numbers. Yeah, 48Y1980GB, I'm assuming that means Britain made. UN, United Nations. Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, right, let's keep going. This black stuff here is coming off, it's just a bit more stubborn. I like projects like this where they don't quite go the direction that you were planning, but they go in a better direction. Yeah, this is great. Right, I'm gonna need a drink soon though. Do you know, I don't think I'm ever going to be fully rid of the yellow. This lettering is yellow. I think it was probably white to begin with. I think there's always going to be traces that this was spray painted almost all completely in yellow, but that's okay because, yeah, to get rid of all of it, I would have to strip it basically down to its bare metal and then repaint it, and I don't want to do that because a box like this has probably been all around the world and it sort of strips it of its character. I mean, I know to some people it's just a box, but to me this sort of stuff is interesting. So, yeah, as long as we get rid of most of the yellow and it's maybe just hints of it here and there, then I can live with that. I do want to get this black paint off though, and see what this says underneath. Then it says carry, then we've got UN 0 something. Yeah, let's keep going and see what we can see. Right, there we have it. Look at that. Now it's not 100% perfect. I haven't managed to get all of the yellow paint off of here, but that's fine because I was starting to lose the lettering. I'd rather have hints of yellow and more of the lettering. Interestingly, you see around the edge here, it's down to bare metal. I don't think that was me sanding it. It might have been, but yeah, nice shiny metal bits there. That'll give us a nice rusty edge eventually. Again, fine, that's the look I'm going for, a little bit of rust here and there. Yeah, the lid is probably the worst bit. It's got the most rust on it, and some of the yellow bits were really stubborn, they weren't coming off, but again, that's not the end of the world. This side has probably come out the best. Yeah, managed to get that sticker nice and clean, it's intact. Cartridges, small arms, UN, yeah, look at that. Alright, so next stage, we need to start getting this ready to go on the bike. There is just one thing I want to check first, and that's which way round I can mount it. I want me to do it that way, because, well, I'll show you in a minute, but there's the bike has a back seat to it, and there's like a backrest here. So I may not have the space to mount it on and still be able to get the lid open fully, so I might have to go that way. So I'm just going to do some checks on that, but I want to mount it that way. If that's the back of the bike, and then we'll have the lid open that way. Yeah, let's see if we can make that happen. Right, this is what I mean with it. So this is where we're wanting to put it. This is what, you know, where it's designed to carry a top box. But we've got this backrest here, which is angled back slightly, so it's encroaching on our space. So we've only got space for a very small box here. That's part of the reason I chose an ammo box. They're actually quite small compared to regular top boxes that you can buy. Now I could take this off, but I think it's going to look a bit weird then having the seat there and no backrest, so I'd rather not do that. So the original plan was to put it that way, like that, because then it clears this, we can still get the lid open. And I've got plenty of space for the reflector. What I'm thinking now though, I can't put the reflector on that end because that's where the buckle is, so it has to go that way. Problem is then to get that open, I need that amount of clearance. It's going to be hanging out by that much. That's too far. That just looks really daft. And looks like it might fall off. I mean, some top boxes do hang out that far, but I don't really want mine to do that. So yeah, I think back to plan A, which is mount it that way. Which, as you can see, move the camera over. We clear the back of the seat, and we can put it right on the edge. But that looks all right. Let's zoom out. There you go. Look at that. It's all right. Excuse the mess of the garden, but that don't look too bad like that. Okay, yeah, we'll have to just go with that way then. Right, here's what we're going to do. So we can't have it lengthways because, as I just showed you, it's going to hang out way too far over the end of the bike. Could it be done? Yeah, I could certainly mount it securely that way. It wouldn't be dangerous in any way. I just think it looks a bit silly and a bit unnecessary. So we're going to go back to plan A, which is widthways. It's going to be that way. And the reason being is, if you imagine, this is the back of the bike, so handlebars behind. We drive on the left in the UK, so it's just yet another thing. Say I pull over at the side of the road. Now, I'm unlikely to do this. If I'm going to stop, I want to go in my top box, which, let's be honest, is going to be carrying my lunch and pretty much nothing else. I'm going to find somewhere safe to stop. But let's say I did have to stop at the side of the road for whatever reason. I want to be to the left of the bike, so the traffic is the other side, so I'm not stood in traffic. I mean, it's very little protection. If someone's going to hit the bike, chances are they're going to hit me as well, but it still gives me, 2 or 3 feet worth of extra safety. So it will go that way. We'll put the reflector on this side, which is okay actually, because where I've sandpapered it, I have actually scratched up the paint quite a bit and lost some of the lettering. So putting the reflector here isn't going to be the end of the world, and we still get to keep some of the better lettering on this side. So it's going to go that way. So imagine I'm stood here, I'll flip that open. We will start. Let's get the reflector on first, shall we? But first, cup of tea. I'm parched. Right, anyway, so we're going to put the reflector. Now, the lettering is better on this side, so rather than just put it centrally, I think it would look okay if we put it off to the side like that. Now we're going to cover that up, which says, it's the size of it. So the volume of it is 0.009 cubic meters, and then that is, what does that say? OWL, I think, 14.6 kilos, which, yeah, so it's 0.009 cubic meters worth of internal space, and I wouldn't say that's 14 kilos, maybe 14 kilos when it's full of ammunition, but yeah, I reckon if we put that in the corner like that, it doesn't look too bad, I don't think. No, that looks quite alright actually. We still get to keep most of this lettering visible. Still got the reflector on for safety. And yeah, the good lettering on the other side can still be seen. I mean, it's going to be somewhat obscured once it's mounted on the bike, but yeah, that could work quite well. We'll put it right there, I think. Right, need to go find me drill. We have got full battery. Excellent. We'll use the reflector itself as a guide. Right. Start off on low speed, drill setting, maximum torque setting. Yeah, we'll use this as a guide. And if we go gentle. Alright, that's barely making a dent. High speed it is then, bollocks to you. Right. That's better, look at that. Straight through. Minimal burning smell. That is Wilco 16-piece mixed drill bit set, and I've used the twist drill, which is marked for metal use. As you can see, they did a pretty damn good job of it too. Well, we've got a little bit of a burr of metal, that's okay, we can just file that off. I think my files might be down in the shed at the moment though, so never mind. Let's go see what we can find nuts and bolts wise, shall we? Hopefully these are going to fit, because these are ideal. What these are, I'll come around and show you. These came with, well, they were spare with the number plate for the bike. It's got 4 of these. There's little plastic nut and bolts holding the number plate on. I've got 2. I was going to put some metal nuts and bolts through it, but these are probably going to be better for it, actually. So, yeah, well, let's see. Hopefully these are going to fit. Yeah, look at that. There we go. You know what? That doesn't look too bad, I don't think. I mean, yeah, they're sticking out, but that's okay. I can live with that. And on the inside, look, there's minimal intrusion into my actual space. So, and say I just rammed a load of stuff in there. If that was on the inside, I'd run the risk of snapping them off because they are only plastic. And even if they were metal, I then run the risk of snagging stuff and scratching my valuables up. So that's good. I like that way. That's a good way of doing it. Right. Next stage, mounting it. This is kind of a critical thing. So far we've done appearance and we've put a reflector on. This is the actual safety critical bit. And we need to get this right. It needs to be secure and very firmly attached. I don't want this rattling or shaking around as I'm riding. Yeah, but it also needs to be in a way that it doesn't damage the bike or anything like that. So, right, we need to go back out to the bike, offer this up for fit, and work out where we're going to put these. So what I want to try and do Let's get this mounted around this thicker bar. Avoid using this inner one. We'll just because that's thicker and therefore stronger. Now, get this as central as we can, like that. And we'll offer these up and mark the box with permanent marker. What I'm thinking, like that on the corners of the box. And what I want is I want the clamp to miss this bit. So we'll just angle it over slightly. And we'll do it there. Yeah, like that. That should work. Let's do the other side. Right. Let's get it drilled then. This is probably the most critical phase. It's over. Well, holes there. And holes there. Yeah, let's just go for it, shall we? Now, I wish I had a way of clamping this down, but I don't, because the jaws on this bench don't open up enough, so we're just going to fucking go for it. Loud noises. There we go. It's not perfect, but it fits. Oh, and now we'll come back out. Come on. Right, let's do the other two holes. Hopefully they go a bit better for us. There we go. Right. So let's have a look, see which way around is going to be the best way around for this. Because I'm thinking it's going to be that way. So let's undo this. You know what? I've just realised there's another very good reason why I should do it that way up. Because then these nuts that I'm going to be trying to tighten up are much easier to get to when I'm going down into the box. So otherwise I'm going to have to try and get between the rear mud guard and the rear light, try and get onto them, whereas this way I can just get my socket straight on. So actually I've realised that decides it. It's going that way up. So, right. So next stage is we need to try and get our little rubber grommets in somehow, our little vibration dampeners. And then we bolt it on and we're done. We have a top box. Right, okay. So let's start this corner. Right, get me socket set, I'll get these tightened up. Nothing's ever simple, is it? The problem I'm having is, as the nut is going down the thread, something like that, there's too much thread poking through for my socket to stay on. So now I'm having to do it with a spanner, but there's so little room inside the box, it's taking forever to tighten it up. This is what I hate when this happens when you get in projects. You're just stuck doing something really tedious and difficult, making such slow progress. And we're so close to being done as well. So I'm going to get the camera in and see if I can show you what I mean. Yeah, so I'm trying to do up this nut here. And you can see, I can literally give it, get the spanner on, and give it like that much, not even a quarter of a turn. I hate it when this happens. The problem is, there are tools that would get around this for me, but they're not cheap, and this is one of those situations that occurs so infrequently that I can't justify the expense of going out and buying a whole tool just for this situation. Oh fuck, I forgot the frigging the disc lock is still on. It's not happy with me shaking the bike. Let's do this other side for a bit, shall we? Right, I've changed my mind, because I'm going to be here all fucking afternoon trying to do this. We're going to do them bolt side down, because I thought I would have an easy time doing them up this way, but I could be here all fucking afternoon trying to do these up. So we're going to take them out, swap them around, and yeah, hopefully I'll have more room under here. Hopefully. So let's get these all done. I've seen worse. Let's do the other side. Right, I think we're there. Look at that. I'll zoom out a touch. That looks pretty fucking good, I think. I'm not too keen on the look of the bolts sticking out the bottom. I think that's a bit untidy. I would have preferred those to be on the inside, but I was going to be here all fucking day trying to do them up. So yeah, that might have to be a job for another day. I might try and see if I can get some different clamps that are a bit shorter, or if I've just got time, I'll redo them. But for now, they're okay. I mean, you can't really see them if I stand up straight. The camera's at head height, you can't really see. Reflectors looking good. There's a bit of movement, but that's not going anywhere. I have to see if it rattles at all as I'm going along. Yeah, we may have to try and put a third clamp around the back. But for now, I'm quite impressed with that. Yeah, that's taken me probably half a day to make. It'd have been a bit faster if I'd had the right tools for doing these clamps up, but never mind. That's not half bad, isn't that? Certainly never coming off. Or maybe I'm not overly impressed with the amount of playing it. Maybe we will end up drilling and putting another clamp in there just to keep it steady, but that's okay for today. Yeah. Alright, yeah. I'm going to call that it. Thank you for watching.
But wait, there's more.
So I'll tell you what would be a good test. Before I go out for a ride with it, why don't I just start the engine and see what that does to it. So it's at idle. There's a bit of vibration. Right, that worked quite well, I think. At idle, obviously, yeah, carburettor bike, so it was a bit of a rough idle to begin with, but that's good because it allowed the whole bike to vibrate a bit. I couldn't see any real movement in it, and then when I rev the engine up, the handle on it does start to vibrate a bit, so we might have to do something about that, find a way to tape it down perhaps, or maybe put some rubber around it so that's not too bad. And of course that little bit of the latch did drop down, but again I'm not too worried about that. But overall, yeah, I didn't see any undue vibration with that. Even put it in gear and just let the back wheels spin, so the whole bike was shaking a bit. And yeah, that was great as well. So as you can see, the weather's still a bit crap. It's fucking freezing and it's still really quite windy. We're quite sheltered here in the garden, but I just went out the front and it's really windy. So I don't think I'm going to go out today. But yeah, maybe tomorrow, and then we'll have a look, see what it looks like. Right, it's the next day. Now, after I gave up filming yesterday, I sort of sat and thought and then had nightmares about the look of those clamps on the bottom. With the nuts sticking out the bottom at all different angles, it was just ugly as sin. And I just couldn't live with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to rectify that. I'm not going out biking because we now have even worse weather than we had yesterday. I've just driven into town, in the car, obviously. And yeah, it was just fucking awful weather. The really heavy rain, the winds picked back up. So we're not going biking yet again. And even worse is I forgot to put the cover back on the bike last night after I'd finished filming. And now it's all wet. Fucking great. But no, I've bit the bullet. I've gone out and bought myself a deep socket set. So we should be able to do those clamps up properly today. and finally get it all finished off. Alright, once again, apologies for any wind noise. We have our deep socket. Look at that. Yeah, fits perfectly. Right. I think it's safe to say this box won't be going anywhere by the time I'm done with this. We do have more to do today, mind, rather than just tightening up these nuts. I had a few other ideas on how to improve upon this little design. So. If you're wondering why there's water inside it as well, I went and left the fecking lid open, didn't I? I was sort of fiddling with this late at night by torchlight after I'd finished filming, trying to see what I could do with it, and yeah, when I finally gave up I forgot to shut the lid, so now we've got water in it. That's alright, because that'll just dry out and it'll probably drain out through these holes anyway, so it's not an issue. Okay, that one's as tight as it's going to get. That is certainly on firmly now. Right. Fun fact about this wrench that I'm using. When I got the Mazda, which you'll see if you have a look at my cars playlist. Well, I didn't get it, actually. It belongs to my partner, but I do all the work on it. But anyway, that's not the point. Go on you go. Yeah, there was a lot of crap left in the boot. There was like an old hat. It belonged to an airman on the local military base, and he was going back to America. Yeah, there was like a hat in there that was like extra small, and that went in the bin. Well, I think the dog chewed that, and then it went in the bin. And there was a few other just like bits of paperwork and rubbish. It all went in the bin. And then I find this sitting at the bottom of it, and I think he'd been using it in place of the toolkit. You know, if he ever got a puncture, because it was just this wrench and one socket with it, which fits the wheel nuts. It's a really good quality tool. I can only imagine he appropriated it from his work from one of the aircraft workshops on base, because that's what they do there. It's primarily aircraft maintenance. And so yeah, I'm currently tightening up the bolts on my DIY top box with United States Air Force property. Yeah, that is a lot better. See, yesterday after I'd finished with it, there was still some movement, but that's not going anywhere now. Yeah, snap that shut. If I pull at it, it's still a little bit of a rattle, but yeah, I don't think that thing's going to be rattling really. It's going to be this handle. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that. Right, I think my bacon sarnie's ready, so I'm going to go eat that. Yeah, and then we'll carry on. We've got one more thing I want to do with this to finish it off. Finishing touches now. I'm really happy with how the box looks. I can see it from the window here. It's just sort of out of shot that way. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks. I'm really happy with how securely fastened it is now that we've got the proper socket set to do those nuts up right. Literally the final touches. I had this idea last night. I suppose you could call it, we're going to put in like a false floor almost. Basically just something to line the bottom. So we're going to start off, I've got a piece of sponge that actually was more or less the same size as the bottom of the box. I just had to get a couple of extra little bits that will go on the end, and that'll sit at the bottom. You can see I've cut a slit in it so it'll fit around the screws like that. That'll sit in the bottom and help reduce, vibration, transmit to anything inside. And then on top of it, we're just going to put this piece of wood. This used to be a cheese board, but it's a bit cheap and nasty, and if you get any sort of like oil or grease on it, it just sort of absorbs it. So yeah, it's not the most hygienic thing in the world. So we're going to repurpose this. It's exactly the right width. It is just sort of 1.5 centimeters too long to fit in it. So we're going to trim it off. We'll lay this in the bottom and yeah, pack it in, and I think that'll look quite good actually. We have this nice piece of wood with the olive green of the inside of the box. I think it's going to look pretty sweet. Certainly look a lot more professional with the nuts and bolts hidden underneath. So we just need to mark up this piece of wood where we want to cut it. We want to cut, it's like 2 centimeters ish, 1.5 off the end here. So the internal diameter of the box is 27.9 centimetres. So we're just going to mark this up. I can't find my carpenter's pencils fucking anywhere. I think I might have thrown them away actually. I think they got damp in the shed and I just threw them away. But it's alright, a pen will do. I'm just going to mark it there. And I'm marking this in 3 spaces so that I know I'm drawing a straight line down. So that we'll get a nice, snug, even fit. Loud noises. Oops. Sweet. Right. No, don't eat that, Archer. And yes, I am doing woodwork in the house. My partner's away for the weekend, so I can do this. I'll just clean up before they get back. I don't really have anywhere else to do it. I don't want to do it outside. It's raining. Electric power tools in the rain? Are you insane? Right, okay, let's go and... This is it. Yeah. Final touches. Oh, bugs are getting under my feet. Sponge first. So these bits of sponge aren't really going to serve much purpose other than, like I say, you know, maybe reduce some vibration, or say I'm out on a bike and I get caught in the rain, I could use them to dry my bike down. But yeah. And then the last bit, the piece of wood. Oh, it's getting stuck on there. There we go. There we are. Look at that. Just angling you in. That's alright, that's a perfect fit. That is a noisy ass dove just landed on my fence. Yeah, look at that. I don't think that looks too bad. I mean, it's not nearly as deep as the original ammo box. We've lost, you know, a good couple of inches, but I think it looks quite good. I suppose if I ever wanted to, I could always just pop this piece of wood back out. If I could get hold of it, that is. Oops, that might be stuck in there. But yeah, if I found a way to get this back out, I can always put stuff underneath it as well. Say I could put like my my wallet underneath it, for example, or something like that. But yeah, I think that looks pretty sweet. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. That is how you build your own top box from an ammo can. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching this video on... But wait, there's more! No, I'm joking. There's no more. That's it. It's over with. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video on doing stuff and filming it. Please don't forget to press the big button here in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you liked what you just saw, please click the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And as always, thank you for watching.